Welcome everybody to another episode of Walkabout. I am your host, Robert.
With your co-host, Chris.
Yeah, you should know who we are by now. So, disappointingly, didn't get everything done on the car that we wanted.
Nope.
But,
as is tradition,
yeah, so it goes.
the important thing is not to rush. When you're working with things that are more than you weigh in steel, don't rush. Don't feel like there's a necessity to finish up as quickly as possible. You'll make mistakes. And those mistakes could be as little as it not working, or as large as, well, you.
But you know what? We didn't break anything.
Yet.
Other than pride. And give us the look of your back. You are dirty as shit unless you change shirts. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, you had mentioned to me about some cooking show that we had watched at my parents' house. I know you don't remember the specifics.
Years ago, we watched this thing. There's supposed to be this chef or some kind of specialized British posh dude who came in and wanted to teach about the terribleness of public food, like school food, I think is what we were going for. They were going for like food that you find in public school.
Right.
So what he did was he wanted to make chicken nuggets, your standard chicken McNugget style of nugget, for kids. Just show them what the process was. And so he took the chicken, he cut off all of the regular cuts that you would get off of a chicken, and then he took the extra bits, the bones, the cartilage, and everything else. He dumped it into a blender, blended it until it was kind of a pulp, put the pulp through a sieve, and took what was left, mixed it with flour as a binder, and then covered it with breading and fried it, made it chicken nuggets. Well, all the kids started eating it up, and he was like, they even framed it like, oh, how disgusting. This is terrible. This is awful. It's like, how affluent, how erudite, how cosmopolitan do you have to be to look at something like that and be like, oh, the leftovers of a chicken? How dare they? What kind of filth doesn't eat the correct cuts of meat and tries to go off of what's left?
I only eat boneless, skinless chicken breasts, thank you very much. And there is something that is inherently wasteful about it.
Yeah. And that's the problem.
But I mean, it does kind of illuminate something about, like, so let's think about, like, McDonald's. So they take something that's left over, right?
Yeah.
And they keep it clean, and they put it together, and they make it into a food product, and they sell it for a product. I get it. It's mass-produced, they sell it for a profit.
Yeah.
But they're still using things that otherwise would get wasted.
I mean,
and the stuff that they can't use normally gets put into pet food.
Well, a lot of the things that we traditionally think of as Southern cooking, like Southern American cooking, is based on leftovers. And using what you can of what is available. Pickled pig's feet being the ultimate example of that, where you look at something which is the leftover part of, you've eaten everything on the pig. Everything you can possibly imagine. Even the snout.
From the rooter to the tutor, as we like to say.
Yeah. And so all that's left is the feet, so you pickle the feet. Eat that.
Eat the chitlins, eat the organs.
Yeah, everything.
Eat the ears, and if you don't want to eat the ears, feed them to your dog.
Yeah. That's the thing, is that there's...
A hog was a big investment. So that's something, it's interesting you should make this point. I was talking to Brianna about this the other day. It's why I've always been pissed off at the idea of suckling pig. Not because, like, oh, it was this, baby life, which is fine. But, like, raising a hog was a big deal.
Yeah.
And the amount of meat that you could get off a hog, hundreds of pounds of meat,
pretty much the whole thing.
Would feed you and everyone you know, or you could sell it at the market for a profit. It was one of the few things you could sell and really make some money at.
Yeah.
Right?
There's a few things you can definitely sell, but yeah, that.
A pig is ready for the market after a year.
Mm-hmm.
And to take it while it's still suckling, there's something that's incredibly wasteful about it when so many people were, like, starving, right? Yeah. But they've been doing it in Spain for like 400 years. One last thing
of affluence.
One last thing I want to say on. Well, it's not just affluence, but if you think about it, if a sow has 9 piglets, which is a pretty average litter, they can have up to like 12 or 13, but let's say 7 or 9 piglets. Each one of those wind up weighing 500, 600 pounds as an adult. Yeah. You can do the math.
Mm-hmm.
That is a crap ton of meat.
Think about
4,500 pounds of meat of 9 piglets.
Let's do some adjustment for inflation, along with adjustment for packing.
Ooh, that's a little overgrown. That's a little less overgrown. You want to head this way?
Yeah, we'll head that way and we can take the bug off back.
Cool. Works for me.
You can think of it this way as well. So, you want to say that accounting for inflation and for packing, 70 cents a pound?
I don't know. I mean, how long ago are we talking about? It really, the price doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Price doesn't matter. Also, apologies for any road noise, and just so you'll know that you're not concerned about us, we are not walking across an active railroad line. It's an abandoned railroad line.
Yeah. I mean, technically, it's still owned by the railroad company. They still come by.
Okay.
I mean, there's a sidewalk right here. I don't know where you're going. I don't even know where that going goes.
I was gonna say it looks like a dead end. I was just interested in walking down the railroad.
Yeah.
Change places.
Yeah. I mean, that's why they put up these highfalutin, fancy railroad stops, even though you know for a fact that this thing must have been invented after this railroad line was defunct.
Sure.
But, you know, law is what the law is.
Yeah. I mean, it may be hard to tell, but like we've walked down the line in that direction, and it's literally not even supported in places. You could not run a train down.
Yeah.
It would derail.
It would fall over.
It's a big ass antenna on top of the hospital.
Yeah, well, how do they talk to each other?
Cop just went by. You boys got a permit for that gimbal you're using there?
No, that's the advantage of small town cop.
You paid your cell phone license?
There's no cell phone license.
No, it'd be great. He'd stop for a photo op as he beats us. hey, can you pistol whip me just once? Truth be told, it's not the noisiest piece of road we've ever been on, but it is pretty loud.
Well, it's active right now. It's about to be like the last part of the day here. Yeah. About 7 o'clock, it starts shutting down here. About 9 o'clock, there's nothing running.
Sure. I think it's really interesting. We're walking by a silver and blue fire hydrant. Yep. And most people don't know that different cities and different townships, sometimes even different neighborhoods, all have their own color coding.
Yeah.
It's just fascinating. It's something that a lot of Europeans have like never seen an American style fire hydrant. Like for real in person.
What do they use? Fire lines?
Yeah, buckets. They either use the Polish immigrants,
or in Britain they just pray to the Queen.
The Turkish immigrants. Oh, right. Pray to the Queen. So now she's lifted to the position of like a demigod.
Isn't the whole point of kingship the divinity aspect of it?
No.
That wasn't the whole thing. Is that they were divinely they were ruling by divine right? That was their whole shtick.
I suppose.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that the British,
maybe in its origin, but
if you have any British, well, I mean, I guess Canadians will do as well. Could tell us if
they
you
don't count. Well, Canadians are like, how should I say this? They're like a neutrino. Like they don't exist. They are counter-existing. If the universe has mass, they are what balance that mass by not existing.
I suppose.
It's the smallest country of 33 million people in the world. Or 30 million, roughly.
I don't know how many countries exist.
I'm sure there's some Canadian who's going to be super offended by this. Oh, everybody thinks, blah, blah. But you know, we'd care more if you did more.
Well, I mean, you know, Cold War's over. You guys did a lot for that.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. They went out with their bacon bombers shooting maple syrup at the Ruskies.
It's not
over
bacon.
The Arctic Circle.
It's ham. It's not bacon.
I bet you say the same thing about Kevin Bacon.
I mean,
so
yes, he is kind of hammy.
So John Hamm and Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon actually already has a band with his brother, right? Kevin Bacon's an accomplished musician.
You are asking me the wrong.
I'm not
questions.
asking. I'm telling. But I think he should team up with John Hamm, and they could be the Piglets, or the Pork Train, or they could just call it Making Bacon, and it could just be super lewd. You get Michael J. Fox in the band, and then you call it Canadian Bacon.
Oh no! Did he play the drums?
No, they do the Harlem Shake.
Here I thought mine was being good.
Yeah, I know. Yep. Rest in peace, you beautiful bastard. I know he's not dead, but still.
He will.
I wish him peace.
Yeah.
Unless he's one of those disgusting celebrity pedophiles, then go to hell.
I mean, was he in long enough for that to have mattered?
I don't know.
Because he kind of left early on.
I mean, he still has a career.
Yeah, but not as much.
I mean, I know you don't clue into his stuff.
Nah.
He might as well not exist. like the country of Nicaragua or Liechtenstein. So we've offended Canadians. I just offended. What do you call people from Liechtenstein? Liechtensteinian?
Probably.
Like Estonian? I don't know. All I know about Estonia is that the people there are beautiful. And they have many beautiful folk dances and songs, which does not help you when the Ruskies are barking at the door.
No. Generally, the Soviet Union was kind of against all forms of culture or anything.
So something y'all may or may not have noticed in our videos is the constant hum, the background noise of the southern cicada. It was very prevalent in my gardening video.
Yes, I mean that's natural.
See, like I was gonna say, it's been here our entire lives. Like you always hear people talk about, like, oh, the cicadas are coming out this summer. It's like, what do you mean coming out this summer? They're out every summer down here.
It's it reminds me of like watching Australian YouTubers, and you'll hear a kookaburra, and it'll just start going off. Right. I'll be like, wait a second, why do I feel like I'm watching a Hollywood movie?
Laugh, kookaburra, laugh. Well, actually, the one that really sets the tone that's used in places that make no sense is the peacock, because it's the peacock that goes, and you hear that. You hear that in every jungle movie, right? And it's like, you guys do know that those things are from like India, and that's it.
And they also added,
although
at a very specific range, they sound like screaming.
They are an invasive species in Texas. You can shoot and kill and eat all the peacocks that your heart desires. Although the hens are better eating than the peas, the cocks, something.
Yeah.
They're harder to spot, though.
Well, of course, that's generally avian camouflage.
Yeah, I was just gonna say they are the exact opposite of females of the species everywhere else. I don't know where this car's going, but I really don't want to get hit. And they look like the type that might be spoiling for a fight. Yeah, that was a hoodless van.
That was a Grand Cherokee, sir.
Whatever. A Grand Cherokee basically is a van.
I like the description of the Ford Explorer as the denial minivan.
Hey, I'm shopping for a denial minivan. I'll probably just get the minivan. Bree at one point said she wanted a Honda Odyssey, and I'm like, those things are real finicky.
Well,
like they used to be really good, right? Like it used to be the thing everybody wanted, and I know that they're safe.
But it's ugly.
It's a lot of money for something that is, in my opinion, a pain in the ass product.
Hondas are
lost you there.
They kind of got weird. They're sort of like Toyota now. Toyotas, all their cars look like sports cars, even though they don't do anything. And if you ask Toyota about what sport means, they'll very quickly hush you into a back room and then beat you to death, usually in a potato sack.
I do hope you are using hyperbole.
Possibly.
Or as some refer to it as hyperbole.
Yes.
That's wrong. The hyperbole?
Yes, the hyperbole. It's like the Rose Bowl.
Except
bigger.
Yeah. And
more energetic.
And most college graduates should actually recognize it.
More energetic.
I have to admit, I really liked it when they started naming college bowls after things you would actually want in a bowl. Like the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Like, that just sounds like something you'd order at Taco Bell, right?
Yep.
Like the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl just sounds fun. Sugar Bowl. Sugar Bowl's great. There's nothing wrong with the Sugar Bowl, right?
No.
Oh. Let's do a nice shot so people can see the big-ass tree at your house.
It is a huge-ass tree.
It's a huge-ass tree. And we are losing daylight.
Yep.
Notice how I keep making you switch around?
Yeah.
All right. Well, folks, expect more car stuff, garden stuff, Project Horizons. Yeah? Yeah, I know you want it. All right. So thanks for joining us on another Walkabout. We'll see y'all next time. For Chris, I'm Robert. Bye.
Bye.